What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so according to reports, Joel Embiid's tardiness and professionalism or lack of professionalism is sparking debate about his leadership amid the Philadelphia 76ers' disappointing season. Joel Embiid, Philadelphia star center and 2023 NBA MVP, is facing mounting criticism over his lack of professionalism and conduct within the NBA and Philadelphia 76ers circles. During a recent episode of FanDuel's Run It Back, Sam Amick of The Athletic, I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, shed light on Embiid's perceived issues, noting that his professionalism has, quote, consistently been questioned, both in Philadelphia and across the league. He said, quote, that's the thing. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. I knew that his professionalism had been questioned consistently, around the league and within the organization. I was a little surprised by, the second the top was blown off this story. Then all of a sudden, in these conversations that you're constantly having with folks around the league, the narrative instantly became like, oh, you and the media, God, these guys use the word like all the time. Y'all have been way too soft on him, and this has been going on forever. And that contrast between, the discussion before and the discussion after was pretty great. I'm still not sure what my take is on, on how much folks are piling on versus what's really been the case. But, the weight is something that, yes, within the Sixers, that has been a concern for a long time. And it's that kind of first guy to the gym mentality that he has not necessarily always had. Look, there's always been conversation about the weight. I remember that going back to when, he was first really starting to become a big star. I'm talking about 2017. I've heard these conversations about, one of the reasons why he already has he has an extensive history issue. I mean, didn't he miss essentially the first 2 years of his career due to injuries? So he's already the guy that has injury issues that are compounded by the fact that he is a guy that likes to eat. Now, there's nothing wrong with that if you're not a premier athlete getting paid millions and millions and millions of dollars each year. You have to curb that, especially as you get older. And it seems like, if anything, his discipline as an athlete is getting worse. So you have the injury issue. He's getting older. He's on the wrong side of 30 now. He tends to overeat. He also has professionalism issues, where we heard in a recent leaked meeting, a team meeting, he was called out by Tyrese Maxey for always being late. Then the very next game, instead of listening to what's being said to you, you're extremely late again, as if you're saying, fuck you. I'm going to do what I want to do. Now, look, Tyrese Maxey, it's funny that he's definitely the verbal and vocal leader of this team, considering how young he is, whereas Joel Embiid, who's supposed to be the best player on this team, is acting more like a sidekick. He's acting more like Dennis Rodman. You can't have your star player act like Dennis Rodman. It's one thing to have a Dennis Rodman do what he do and be a great player, but still a role player. You can kind of tolerate some of those things, especially considering the fact that Dennis Rodman, for all of his off-the-court antics, for all the things he did that could be a little bit of a distraction for the team, Phil Jackson was able to curb most of that, especially the first two seasons in his tenure with Chicago. and you never question his commitment to his body. You never question his commitment to the game. Dennis Rodman was always going to work hard. So his production, his work ethic, and his leadership on the floor superseded all of the off the court stuff. But when you got a guy, and plus the winning does it too. When you're winning, nobody gives a shit. But when you're 3-12, probably going to be 3-13. Or are they 3-13 now? They might be 3-13. When you're 3-13, like the Philadelphia 76ers. Just in the report now that Joel Embiid is not going to play again. Clearly, this guy doesn't want to be there anymore. He doesn't. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. It's so obvious now. Joel Embiid does not want to be on part of this team. He's, to me, pretty much quit. He's pretty much quit. From everything that his actions, I don't care about this knee injury bullshit. At the end of the day, the report that I saw from, what's the guy's name? The one that replaced Woj, Shams. The report I saw before he wiped it said that he didn't report to the stadium, which means that they expected him to play, but he didn't play. He didn't play. So he's ruled out with the knee injury. And your team needs you. This is why I could never put him ahead of Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't give a fuck about those numbers. I don't care about any of that crap. I could never put that dude ahead of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yes, from a talent perspective, Joel Embiid is more talented than Giannis. But I've always told people, I've always told young Thundercats, there are other intangibles that are more important than that. One of them is availability, durability, consistency, leadership. Okay, Giannis is going to go out there, even if he makes some mistakes out there, you know that for the most part, Giannis is going to go out there and play. Now, has Giannis been doing some things that you could argue been diva-like? Yeah, but I think, a bug got in his ear about that bullshit, and it's been curbed. But Joel Embiid is incorrigible. He's incorrigible. At this point, he's the worst MVP I've ever seen. Not from a talent perspective, but from a perspective of work ethic, leadership. Okay? Acting like a franchise player. He's the worst MVP we've ever seen. He should have not gotten that award, and that award should be retroactively given to either Jokic or Giannis. He didn't deserve that award, man. And this is the thing. From what I've read, they can't trade him right now because of his contract. So I don't think they can trade him until after the season. And then even with that, I think due to the clauses in his contract, he's in control of wherever he goes. He knows that. So right now, he ain't really playing. I don't think he cares. I think he's pretty much mentally quit. And what I expect this clown going to do is he's going to play in the games where he's going up against the lowest teams, you know what I'm saying? Or he'll go out there and play against, I don't know, the Jazz. He'll go out there and play against the teams that really don't put up an effort. Teams that he'll play against the Wizards. Oh, whenever the Wizards is out there, because I told you over the last couple of years, big men have eaten the Wizards alive. Front court players and centers have eaten the Wizards alive. Look, what's his face? Embiid already had a 50-point game against them and a 48-point game against them in recent years. Wemby just had a 50-point game against them. Giannis had a 50-point game against them. AD had a 55-point game against them. He'll play against them. But the Warriors and the other teams, he ain't playing against them. And I'm going to say this before I end this video. I could argue a little bit of this is retribution for what he said about old LeBron back in the Olympics. Remember about how a lot of these guys, their name on jersey, but they're not the same. They're not the same. All these, they're a bunch of old guys. When he said something like that, and I said, they're going to come after him. They're going to come after this guy now because you don't diss the golden goose of the La Media. But even though I do think that there's a little bit of a witch hunt on him, it's deserved now. It's well deserved because see, they're taking it easy on him at first, but once you run afoul of the media, they will come after you, and he deserves it. He deserves it. You know. So he deserves all of it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that kills me is that another thing that kills me, I should say, is when the media, when the media or the love media leaked that secret meeting, he was more pissed off about that meeting being leaked, his shortcomings being revealed, and he wanted to get and find out who the snitch was. Right? So everyone sees dude compared to Will Chamberlain ever. And, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is with Joel Embiid.